Now, today might very well be important for you. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you something that you might really want to hear. I'm going to tell you how to put the sizzle back in your relationship. Now, I'm going to show you an example, and then we're going to work from there. Cherie says she was blissfully happy when she first met her husband, Craig. She said things turned ugly 8 years ago when Craig became sexist, demeaning, and bullied her into sex just to satisfy his ego. Take a look.
My husband has a Jekyll and Hyde personality. Craig belittles me, he's demeaning, and he's very degrading. Craig says, why don't you just do me? Give me I don't care if you just lay there and just all our arguments go back to sex.
How much is it gonna cost me? There's no emotion in that, honey.
Wow.
How much is it gonna cost me?
Is that how you want some guy to talk and treat your daughter?
When we fight, she just won't shut up.
You go right to my breast, or you go right down towards my crotch area and like you're undressing me. That's degrading.
One of our arguments got so heated, I ended up spending 3 nights in jail.
He was arrested for domestic violence.
Cherie uses sex to control me. It's a way to have power over me. I am not a priest or a monk, so it would be like me withholding my paycheck from her.
And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Tired of being treated like a piece of meat.
I'm tired of putting quarters in the soda machine and not getting a soda out.
Craig tries to bargain with me so he can have sex. If I don't give in, he pouts, he stomps around like a juvenile child.
After we have sex, I feel like $1 million. I feel like the man in the house.
Craig treats me like a servant.
I would like Cherie to greet me at the door when I come home.
Craig says that I don't G-squat and I have it made and all I want is his money.
I don't like you.
Why?
Because you piss me off.
Why?
You treat me
How?
like Let me tell you what.
No.
Let me pull your credit cards and the money and see how bad you like it.
No. He feels that we should bow down and kiss his feet. It's exhausting trying to massage his ego all the time. Craig makes me feel like a whore.
So you've been married 16 years.
Yes, sir.
8 of that, half, all of these years, you guys have been miserable. Just miserable. And in 8 years, nothing has occurred to either one of you to do to fix this.
It has to me, but what I've done is I want to stay in this cycle of being angry and getting back at her because I'm upset and I'm kind of pissed at the whole situation myself.
Well, how's that working for you?
Don't
It's not
acknowledge
working.
anything.
Seriously, how is that working for you?
It's not. What happens is that she says I don't have the consistency to carry it out long
But
enough.
see, we
You
said...
can't get past a week. Oh, I was good last night. Well, what about the night before? You can't get past a week and be pleasant to us and treat us with dignity, respect, or concern or care.
At this particular juncture, I don't think, there are times when I just don't want to, okay? I go and do what I set out to do, which was
Our daughter
from the day.
dreads Fridays because every weekend she can count on something happening and blowing up. And guaranteed it has happened year after year, weekend after weekend. She doesn't want to be home. She wants to stay at school.
She wants to
live
stay
with her
with
friends.
school friends because
she
she
doesn't want to
knows
be
it's
around
inevitable
you.
what's gonna
She
happen.
pulls me away from you. Come on, Mom, that's it. Dinner's done, upstairs we go. She's grabbing the computer, she's unplugging it, she's taking my books upstairs, that's it. She's dealt with it. She's dealt with PTSD because of the argument that puts you in jail, that I had to deal with because you were in denial for it.
Well, I'm going to share, we shot that on video.
Yeah, you got it on video, and what was behind that?
And
Here,
did
I
that
got
to
you
cover-
on
look
video
at-
because
did that
if
to-
I fall down the steps, I'm going to get you on video. I'll get you. You
I
were
tell
using psychological abuse
I tell
on
you,
top of it.
I just wanted to,
You
I
got
wanted to
suicide
document the
hotlines
whole,
on the
I wanted to
computer,
document the
emotional
whole thing.
abuse.
I wanted to document the whole thing.
Yes. When you and then
Go
really
ahead.
quiet.
Chime
Come
in
up to
whenever
me.
you want.
Come up to when you come to bed tonight. Are you going to bring a knife and stab me in the back?
I should have just gone to bed.
I'm violent.
I should have just stayed in bed.
Emotional abuse.
Yeah, but now, wait a minute.
Blackmail?
Hold on. Anytime it seems like everybody is just at each other, the first thing I like to do is kind of back up a little bit and see if there are some things that we can agree on. Okay, can we agree that you are systematically, consistently, and committedly a jerk?
Yes.
Can I
Right?
interject?
No, you said that
Negative,
you, no,
miserable.
no, you can't interject.
Okay.
you can agree that he's being systematically, consistently, and committedly a jerk. Okay. Yes.
Definitely.
Okay, so we agree on that.
Yes.
Okay, we also agree this isn't even almost sort of kind of maybe working.
No.
No.
When you choose a behavior, you choose the consequences. So you say, okay, I can come over here and be a jerk, and the result is like sticking my head in a blender. Or I can come over here and try something different and maybe get a different result. I think I'll just stick my head in a blender. That's basically the logic that you've been following, because you've got anxiety that builds up. Would you let me tell you why you do that, by the way?
Yes, sir.
If you're on the attack, then you're getting her before she gets you, because the pain of rejection is so bad to you. It emasculates you. It takes away your manhood. It takes away your ego. It takes away your self-worth. And it hurts so bad that you can't risk being rejected time and time and time again. So you get her before she has a chance to get you. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're correct.
So the anger is just shielding your hurt.
Yes, sir. I'm sure it goes back to childhood. I went from being a child to filling the shoes of an adult when my parents divorced, and that hit me very, very hard. At the time, my brother and I were both Boy Scouts. We knew better. We were good Boy Scouts. We were good boys under the circumstances. We ended up doing the, hey, let's play with Army men and matches and gasoline scenario. And that had a drastic outcome. Gas can caught on fire. I went to dial 911. My brother tried to put it out. It blew up. It burned him over 60% of his body. And that's where the pain and the hurt and the anger and the fear comes from. You know, I'm fearful of anything that I don't have control over.
So what do you need?
I need to feel better about myself. My biggest fear, the biggest fear, ask me what my biggest fear was failure. And I'm right smack dab in the middle where I want to be, in a failure mode in this relationship. And it scares me to death.
Isn't it really pretty simple? It starts with forgiving yourself, and then you need somebody to help nurture that in you. And you're doing everything you can to ensure that she can't do it. It is hard to hug a porcupine. And that's exactly who you are, right?
Yes, sir.
I believe that Craig is on the computer texting and emailing girlfriends. When I walk into the room and Craig is on the computer, he will sometimes shut down really quickly. Craig doesn't want me to see what he's doing on the internet. I believe Craig could be having an emotional affair. I feel worthless, like he's shutting me out.
Well, that was Cherie. She was talking about her suspicions about Craig having an emotional affair, but Craig says his wife has done some things that leave him questioning her faithfulness too. What's that about?
I believe it was around 2005. She had the opportunity with the local authorities to go on a 3-hour ride-along with a uniformed officer, the local police department.
Okay.
It ended up turning into an all-nighter under the circumstances. She told me that she found somebody that would listen to her because I sure wasn't doing it. Ended up going to a movie with the same gentleman, and then there were a couple texts that referred to that. That's the only way I really found out that she went with someone else. But it was the first big stake in my heart in our relationship where I realized that I was not fulfilling my part of the bargain.
Hold on. Okay. Now, he has been what you consider to be outright abusive.
Yes.
He calls you names.
He's called me bitch. He's called me a skank in front of our daughter. And never apologized until I had to bring it up to him. It's not like, oh, I am so sorry that I said that to you and didn't catch himself. He said it like it was nothing. And
All right, beyond name calling, what does he do that you
refers to
consider
me.
abusive?
I feel like I'm treated like a whore. Because it's like, come do me. You know, why don't you just bend over? Why don't you give me something once in a while? Why don't you chase me for once? I'm always chasing you. You don't appreciate squat from me. All you want is, you got everything you need. You're living in the castle and you do nothing. And you've got all you want is my money. You do nothing.
I provide the best I can for my wife.
I have
But the
never
fact of the matter
ever complained
is, the fact of the matter is,
about
I
what you've
have
done ever.
said
I've always
those
left,
things.
I've always lived
It's
within our
been out
budget
of
and have never
anger.
complained about
Okay, hold
anything
on,
we've
hold on,
had.
hold on. Y'all can argue at home.
Okay.
Seriously, you went to treatment for 10 months together? Or just
She
you?
did. Dealt with the accident. You're supposed to have been over that already. You've
10
talked
months.
with your brother, you've talked with your mom, you've talked with your dad to deal with all those issues.
I do need
But
to
I'm
move
still,
forward.
I'm
I
still
need to move
paying
forward.
for it.
You are
You're treating me
paying
like
for
your
it.
mother.
You look down your finger at me like my mom.
No, I
okay?
don't.
You do.
No, I don't.
I think
Am
you
I
will.
For the way I'm being treated,
Well,
yes.
I'm not saying you don't come by it honestly, but I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, you're not exactly warm and cuddly here. You're spitting words out. I mean, you're just hostile, like you
I
just
am
want
angry
to
because
just
this
open
has
up a can of
affected
whoop ass
our
on him.
daughter because it's
Well,
a continuous.
okay.
I am
I
being
get it, but-
blatantly battered emotionally and verbally every
Okay,
other day.
But how is that working for you to just be so hostile and angry all the time?
A lot of the time, I don't. It's not me starting all this stuff.
Okay.
I'm at home cooking and cleaning, and he
Okay.
comes in the door with the
I've
attitude
been on
and the negative.
I've been on the air for 10 years. This has been happening for 8. You could have been here in 2002.
I started counseling with us back in 2009, looking for a similar personality as yours. He wouldn't deal with it, so she referred us to a male counselor. That didn't work. Then I dealt with the pastor for marriage counseling. They told me, you know what, you're working way too hard at this.
Okay, hold on. Are you trying to justify being so hostile that you can't even talk without spitting words out? Are you trying to
I've
defend
tried
that and
talking.
justify it?
I have taken him into the room by the hand to sit down and talk to him,
answer
and then
my
I start
question.
getting attacked again.
Oh, okay, so answer my question. Are you justifying this? That naturally this is the way I am. Of course. I make no apology for it. This is the way I am.
I guess I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm so tired because he's not acknowledging anything. He'll acknowledge it with sarcasm. Yeah, it's all
Do
me.
you
It's all my
want
fault.
to
Yeah,
change
it's not
this
mine.
or defend it?
I don't change.
I mean, do you really? Because we don't need a martyr.
I seriously
we need,
do.
We need a partner, not a
I'm the one
martyr.
who's open and willing, trying to deal with this stuff. I'm the one who's reading books, trying to figure out and understand things. He won't talk to me.
Okay.
And I've taken him back, purposely trying to say, okay, let's sit here and talk.
Okay.
And he won't. He
I don't-
won't express anything other than anger.
Who wrote the letter?
I've written a couple times, and he started wrote a letter, I guess,
I
way
wrote back
when.
in 2003, I believe.
He is here, right? You got to give him credit
Yes.
for being here.
I do.
What do you think about him being here?
I'm relieved because nothing else has worked.
Because do you think for 1 second I'm going to allow him to leave here with even a vague impression that what he's doing is okay or acceptable?
No. And what I'm doing is not okay or acceptable. I
Okay.
don't know what else to do.
Would you like me to just take him backstage and whip his ass?
No way. No.
I mean, what do you
No.
want? What do you want me to do?
I want him to acknowledge things and be honest and sincere and show that there's consistency in his behavior. We can't get past a week without him attacking me.
Okay, I get it. And you know what I haven't heard? Hold on. You know what I haven't heard from you? I haven't heard you say, Dr. Phil, tell me what I can do to help fix this situation. Tell me what I can do. The only person I control is
It's
me.
me.
If you've been reading books and going to the internet and talking to all these people, then you got to know it starts with you.
Understand? Well, yes.
You haven't asked
I've
me
been
one
trying to read
question
on
about what I
that.
can do. What you've been doing is indicting him. You want to make sure that we all understand what a complete and utter jerk he is. Okay, but I
I've been
covered
trying
that
to
up
get down
front.
to the bottom of the things. I've been sitting there trying to say, okay, what all have you been through with your mom? I have supported him with the things he's been through.
Well, we're back. Cherie says Craig is a sexist. She says he treats her like a slave. He feels that she neglects him and their marriage. And this has been going on 8 years. That's half of their marriage. They've got a daughter. And she's growing up with this.
Ultimately, this kind of behavior between Cherie and I ends up putting our daughter in the middle. She hears and sees it all.
That child is crying for attention. Dad doesn't care. Dad doesn't love me. She's written things to you, trying to express that to you, and you have mocked her for it. My daughter was so affected by this that she would act out. She would go out into the driveway like a wild cat and be pawing and scratching at the pavement to where her hands would be raw.
She'll spend weekends with friends because she can't tolerate her mother and father fighting.
You don't take an interest in anything we do.
One time he called me a skank in front of her. My daughter has come between us trying to protect me. She drags me away up to her room because she's afraid for me.
My daughter has ended up, just like her mother, losing all respect for me.
The most powerful role model in her life is you. And what you're modeling for her is A, being a victim, 2, being angry, bitter, hostile. And then she looks at you like this is men, and so she doesn't have the relationship with you that she wants. So now she's gonna go out, and when she gets a couple years older, the first old boy that comes along blows in her ear and tells her he loves her,
She don't believe it.
is gonna own her. You say you have sex like 2 or 3 times a year?
This last year was less than 5 times, 4 times.
Yeah.
That's not the way I want it. I didn't sign up for that. I said it in the clip. I'm tired of putting quarters in the pop machine and not getting a pop out.
Okay, but let me tell you something that you need to understand. And now, sex in a relationship is a mirror to everything else that's going on in the relationship. It's a mirror to what else is going on. Right. If you being bitter and caustic and critical and biting and all of those things all day long, day after day after day, and then you think you go in there and flip off the bedroom light, and then all of a sudden she's just supposed to go, oh, baby.
It doesn't happen.
That's how it is.
It just does not work that way. There is not a woman on the globe that you can call a whore at noon and then go back there and roll around in the bed with at night, unless she is a whore and you slipped her $100.
Right.
And that's not what happens in this relationship here. So you got to know you cannot blame her for not finding you desirable. You cannot expect her to take her guard down and trustingly, vulnerably open herself up to you mentally, emotionally, or physically when she is constantly under attack. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes.
Seriously, are you hearing what I'm saying?
Seriously.
Because this, but pretty soon you're going to look up and go, wow, we're done? What happened to the time? I'm telling you now a formula for success here. And you have to understand that when you approach her, you've got to ask yourself, what am I doing for her? I mean, what am I doing to cause her to feel lovingly towards me? It shouldn't be an effort. You've got to ask yourself, where is this coming from? Somehow or another, and I think anxiety's got a big part of it. I think you are constantly testing her to see if, in fact, she's going to reject you. And you keep creating what you fear. What I want you to understand is this problem can be fixed like this. I give the prognosis for this marriage about a 10 out of 10 if you will do what I am telling you you need to do. The formula for success in a relationship is this. I'm going to write this down and put it on the internet. The quality of a relationship is a function of the extent to which, number one, it is based on a solid underlying friendship. Okay, that's number one. Now, okay, what do friends do? Do you have friends?
They hang out.
Do you have friends?
Several, yes.
Okay, and do y'all yuck it up?
Yes, we do.
Do you talk about things that are interesting,
And
football
that
or sports?
commonality, yes.
And you kind of yuck it up,
Yep,
and you
yep.
kind of tease each other, but you've got a general sense of acceptance. You feel safe with your
Yes.
friends, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do y'all yuck it up?
No, there is none.
There's no
That's just
joy.
it.
Under the circumstances
Because he
right now,
stresses and
she's finishing up her last term of
negativity
school. We do not make time to yuck it up. In answer to your question,
get to
we need to make more time to do
stress.
that.
You regularly, consistently call her a bitch and a whore. The answer to that, with Dr. Would be no. We don't
No,
yuck
we
it up.
don't. There's no
No,
fun.
you don't.
There's no fun in
You
this household.
don't do what you do with friends.
We try to.
See, no, listen
I
to me.
tried.
If all you ever deal with in a relationship are problems, you have a problem relationship.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
you've got to it gets back to just first being friends. Okay, so number one, it's got to be based on a solid underlying friendship. Number two, it's a function of the extent to which it meets the needs of the two people involved. That means you've got two jobs. Number one, you have to figure out what her needs are. That means you've got to get out of yourself, get out of your anger, be empathetic, put yourself in her situation and say, I need to figure out what her needs are. And job number two is figure out how to meet those needs. Your job is to figure out what his needs are. And job number two is figure out what you can do to meet those needs. What happens then, if you're each trying to figure out the other's needs and meet them, then we have two people moving towards each other. Towards each other.
Instead of away.
You cannot give away what you don't have. It's hard to give love and acceptance to somebody else if you don't have it for yourself. And there's one thing about being a victim that I see that a lot of people don't think. I think being a victim and being guilty, for example, because you feel guilty about your brother. I get that. It's terrible. I hate that for you and I hate it for him. People who feel guilty just give themselves permission to sit on the sidelines. It gives you an excuse to be a crummy husband, to be a crummy father. There's a point at which you have to say, you know what? The past is over, the future hasn't happened yet, the only time is now, and right now, I have an undivided loyalty to my family. This stuff about relationships being 50-50 and meeting in the middle, that is a myth. That is a myth.
Enlighten me.
Relationships, no, I am. Relationships are 100-100.
Yes.
The only person you control is you. You start being the person that you know you can be and you know she needs and deserves. And you start being a wife that loves him through all of his self-defeating behaviors. And then all of a sudden you don't have anything to complain about anymore. Why did you marry him?
Because he was charming, he was handsome, and he treated me with respect. We had similar interests. We did things together.
Sound like he was a pretty good friend.
He was. I wasn't yelled at. I wasn't attacked. We're not doing it fast enough. We're not good enough.
Do you miss him?
Horribly. I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of not being able to share and talk about anything because I can't trust him.
Why did you marry her?
I jumped off that tractor that day at the fairgrounds and introduced myself and said, my name's Craig and you look absolutely stunning, which is generally the way it goes down. And then after that, I learned more and more and more about her as the days and weeks and months passed on. She made everything right. We did a lot of things together. And to this day, she is an incredible mother, taking care of an incredible little girl. And it's just our little incompatibility that we need to work out.
So you want to give her what she deserves?
Yes, more than I feel I'm doing right now. The only thing I do, the best that I do, what I do right now is to provide for my family.
One thing men don't understand is there's more than one kind of currency. There's not just monetary currency, there's emotional currency, intellectual currency, time currency. You're providing for your family monetarily. But the role of the man in the family is to be a provider. But that means in all things.
Yes.
So you are not providing well. You're providing monetarily, so maybe you get an A there, and it's F. You've got to provide in all ways. You're to be a provider, a protector, a leader, a teacher. You're not teaching your daughter. You're poisoning her. You can change this. And you have to help him do that. You have to love him through this. But you've got to give him some room to breathe.
I want him to talk to me and share those things with me, but he won't communicate.
Our son Jay wrote a book one time, Life Strategies for Teens. And he said something really profound in there. He said, parents, you need to talk to your children about things that don't matter, so that channel is open and ready when it's time to talk about things that do matter. That's what you guys need to do. You need to set up some boundaries and talk about things that don't matter first. Talk about football. Talk about television shows. Talk about something that has no moment to it whatsoever. Now, I'm going to give you guys a test. I'm going to send you backstage right now while I talk to another couple, and your job is to talk about something that doesn't matter nonstop until I call you back out here. Listen, this may seem silly to you. I want you to go backstage. I want you to talk. And if you say one thing critical, I'm going to have a camera on you.
Thanks for the heads up.
It's not going to go well. Okay? You're just to go back there and just talk about things that don't matter till I call you back out here. My next guest, Kim and Krickitt, made headlines when their fairy tale marriage took a tragic turn. Take a look at this.
When I first met Krickitt, we just really hit it off. We clicked. She became the love of my life in no time. Less than a year after we had met, we got married.
How would you describe this love story?
A roller coaster. On November 24th, 1993, shy of 10 weeks after we were married, everything changed. We were gonna go spend Thanksgiving with her parents. She was driving, we came up on what looked to be fog. I heard Krickitt yell, just this blood-curdling scream.
Krickitt had swerved to miss a flatbed truck, but then another truck plowed into them from behind. The impact sent their car literally flipping through the air.
When I approached the car was upside down. It was crunched. The lady was suspended by her seatbelt in the steering wheel.
You're married less than 10 weeks. You have everything. And then you think you don't have her anymore. She had edema, which was bleeding in the brain.
I was given less than 1% chance to live. And if I lived, I'd remain as a vegetable.
Krickitt was in a coma from the very onset. 21 days after the accident. She finally woke up. The nurse started asking her questions. I said, well, Krickitt, who's your mom? And she said, Mary. Who's your dad? And she said, Gus. Who's your husband? She said, I'm not married.
Well, let's see what happened when Kim went from husband to stranger.
I lost about 1.5 years prior to the car accident, till about 4 months after. And that was the time that Kim entered my life, and all that's been erased from my short-term memory.
I became obsessed with her, trying to regain her memory of me. I grabbed every picture we could possibly get of us, and I put them everywhere.
When I look at a picture from our wedding, I don't have any feelings about it because I don't have a connection to the girl in the picture.
Her injury was so severe, it simply reset her brain. We had to start all over again. We had her in diapers. We had to get her walking again. We hand-fed her for a while, and she was like an infant. I went from husband to father. A social worker said, you know, if you divorce her, these bills might be paid for by the state. But I wasn't leaving. I made a vow, you know, to stay with her till death do us part.
I remember looking in the mirror thinking, everyone's telling me the same story, and I'm not waking up from this dream.
I was living in this strange apartment in this strange town, and I was married to this guy, and that was kind of scary.
We had to be reintroduced, essentially. The only way this is going to work is if we start building new memories, and so along came date night all over again.
My feelings for Kim started to change, and I got to know him again, and I liked what I saw. It wasn't as though I fluffy fell back in love with him. It was more of a choice, and I chose to love Kim the second time around.
On February 14th of 1996, on Valentine's Day, I proposed to Krickitt the second time.
It's been 18 years, so we have 18 years full of new memories.
We're getting all this attention for doing what we said we would do. And you know, the bottom line is that we stayed together.
Well, I find this fascinating, though. I think it's so great that you stayed together and, in fact, kind of behaved your way back into it, right? Mm-hmm. Did you know the concept of wife?
I didn't know how this new wife did it, because I remember once I moved back to our apartment, I asked him, well, what did I used to do? Did I make you breakfast every morning, or did I, you know?
See, this was a good time for you to fill in some blanks. Well, actually.
I tried to tell her some differences, but she didn't fall for it.
There's some things I knew.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go back to your apartment.
Right.
Were you embarrassed to, like, get undressed in front of him and all because you didn't know him?
Cognitively, I probably acted like a 7 or 8 year old once I was moved home to live with them. And I kind of went with it. It was like playing house.
What's it like to watch your story played by other people and rolled out in a movie?
I can relate to what she's going through. I thought I was married to, when they asked me my husband, I said Todd, who was an old boyfriend of mine. And my new husband of 10 weeks, you know, probably 12 weeks at that time, was sitting right there.
Did they get it right in the movie?
Kim's desire to want to win me back. I mean, that part of the movie is very much intact.
It was about the toughest thing I ever endured. She hated my guts. I would tell her, we're gonna walk another lap. I don't love you. I don't know why you're here. You go back to where you came from. You're mean. It was a stab in the heart.
Well, Krickitt says that her love for Kim was not a fluffy type of love. She honored her vows and made a choice to love him again. It's interesting to me that it's been 15 years since this happened, and you still get very emotional about it.
Oh, I do. I think, you know, I can remember it as if it was yesterday. And of course, with the movie and our book coming out, it's drawn a lot of emotion out. But, you know, it was amazing because she was an All-American gymnast at Cal State Fullerton and top physical condition. And the physical therapist didn't really push her that hard. And I decided to step in, that being, you know, I was a baseball coach at the time at a university, and I pushed her through PT pretty hard. Really started taking a toll on us because she got angry with me for pushing her so hard. I felt that, you know, the caliber of athletic ability she had, that I wanted to see that. You know, I wanted my old wife back, and so, but it was tough. There was a time where I think the big question came, what's going to happen? And I had made a decision that I wasn't going to leave. I wasn't going anywhere. I was going to stay with her until she could actually look me in the face in a competent state with abilities to take care of herself and tell me, you know, that's it. But I wasn't going to go anywhere.
How much of her original personality did she get back to?
I was really hung up on getting the woman back that I married first time. But, you know, after we started building new memories, hey.
Didn't matter.
Didn't matter. You fall in love with somebody and you identify with the foundations of what you fall in love with, and then you start to love new things about them as they change. And accompany that with our faith. We've been very blessed, and I think building the new memories was a real important thing for us.
Yeah,
we got a second chance.
Yeah, a new history. Well, today we've been talking about relationships, and trust me, if you give something different, you'll get something different. I'm not saying you can fix the other person, but I do believe in the principle of reciprocity. You get what you give. And if things aren't right, even if it falls apart ultimately, you need to be able to say, you know what? I did everything I could do in my shoes to make this work. I didn't wait for them, I did it. Now, I sent Craig and Cherie backstage, and I said, I want you guys to talk about things that don't matter. You've been back there about 15 minutes. How did it go?
Good.
Really well.
We actually laughed.
Yeah? You actually laughed?
That doesn't happen.
Were you laughing at him or with him?
No, with him. No, with him.
Yeah. And what did you talk about?
NASCAR, our pets, our horses.
Yeah.
We got to the point where we caught ourselves talking about things that kind of matter, but we were having fun.
But it
We were
was
laughing,
good.
and it was mostly about things that didn't matter.
Okay.
It really was.
Now, how did you feel doing that with her?
A tremendous weight off my shoulders in getting across that barrier that I know I had placed between us, or part of it.
And how did you feel?
It felt good to be heard, to be listened to be focused on, and to be included.
And I asked you to talk about things that don't matter because there's no baggage to that. I want you to create a new history. And I'm going to give you a 14-day program that's going to take about 30 minutes every night, spelled out in great detail, that I want you to do. Okay. And then we're going to have you back here and we're going to follow up with you and see what's going on.
Okay.
Okay? Good. This can work. I'm telling you, this can work. You're going to need to watch this show like 10 times. You'll hear something different every time. Okay? We'll see. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.